What is up, everyone? Welcome back to my channel, and if you're new, welcome. My name is Meg, and today I am finally trying out Selena Gomez's brand Rare Beauty. I am so excited to have some of the products from her original collection in my hands and to finally play with them a couple months after it came out. I was so excited when the line came out because it just seemed really inclusive to everyone. I like the messaging behind the brand. I like that proceeds from every purchase is going to mental health. So there's so many good things about this brand. I just didn't get it when it first came out because I'm trying to use up products that I have before I buy more. So I'm finally almost out of concealer. I'm almost out of foundation. Sephora was having their VIB sale, so I was like, now is the perfect time. So I picked up the foundation, concealer, highlight, and blush. So let's see how I did matching myself online. I would say I am pretty pale right now, so I always try to go for neutral undertones when it comes to foundation. So this was one of the lightest shades. This is 150C. It looked like it'd be the best match for me, and I was kind of like looking at the tube when the order came in, and I was like, this looks like it could be a good match, so hopefully it is. And then I also got the matching shade in the concealer, so I'm interested to see in person because in the bottle it looks a little bit lighter, so I'm interested to see side by side if they truly are the exact same color or if the concealer is just a hint lighter or has some more brightness in it. So for the blush, I figured that Bliss would be the one that is most up my alley. It's kind of a matte, lighter, peachy pink color, which is what I tend to go for. I also heard the dewy blushes are really nice as well. And you know me, I can't resist a good highlight, so I had to get the liquid highlighter to try out. So I'm excited to dive into these products. I'm a little bit nervous though, because I've heard mixed things on these not being the best for people with dry skin, which is what I have. I do have pretty dry skin. In the winter, I get eczema. I have some issues with flakiness, so that's never fun with makeup or foundation, but this is the state of my skin. I do have a lot of redness. I do have some acne spots to cover up, so I'm just interested to see how this is going to work. I've been enjoying more of a natural look to my skin over the last couple of months in quarantine. That's just been kind of my makeup goal, working on my skin. So I think this line and this foundation will work pretty well for my goals. For primer, this is the Milk Hydro Grip Primer. It's what I always use. I love that it is a nice tacky primer. It's also hydrating, so very good for my dry skin. I haven't had issues with this not working with foundation, so hopefully that pattern continues today. One thing that I like to do before I really get into my makeup is just to outline my brows so I can see what I'm working with. So I'm gonna do that and we can get back to the application. All right, so the primer has sunk in, my brows are outlined, we are good to go to get into this foundation. I've just been over here trying to shake it up because I've seen that things get a little bit messy with this sometimes. So the foundation retails for $40, $39. And it's described as a weightless foundation with concentrated pigment that feels barely there while providing a buildable medium to full coverage with a natural finish. And it's described as a medium coverage, natural finish, liquid foundation for normal, dry, combination, and oily. So this is supposed to work for everyone. When a foundation claims to work for everyone, I kind of question it a little bit. I'm like, how does this work for everyone? So it also says that it is a serum base, making it easy to blend and build coverage while evening out skin tone and hiding the look of pores, no clogging or caking. And then it just says that it will calm and nourish skin for a comfortable long wear in 48 different shades. For dry skin, it is always recommended to moisturize and then follow with their primer for the best results. I didn't get the primer, but I did moisturize my face before I got started with this, and I misspoke the price of the foundation because $40 is typical. It's actually $29, so that is pretty affordable. $29 for a foundation. We can't be mad about that. I'm so nervous about applying this. Okay, so no big mess. I'm going to concentrate most of this where my redness is and kind of where I have any red dots, and then whatever is left. So that was just one dip with some product going back into the bottle. Let's see how this wants to blend. It definitely felt serum-like going on my skin. It also kind of felt soft and velvety. It was such a weird texture for a foundation. And this is blending seamlessly. I feel like even on my chin where I didn't concentrate a lot of it, it still gave pretty good coverage. This literally looks like my skin, just not red, blotchy, and gross. I can see though that you do kind of want to put this everywhere because it doesn't spread a ton like a traditional liquid foundation. It just kind of stays in place. That covered pretty well, wow. I did blend the foundation into my under eye a little bit, so I won't have to use as much concealer. But that spread pretty nicely onto the side of my nose, and we can just see how red especially my nose is. So that gave really good coverage. I can still see some little spots, like some freckles and stuff peeking through, but it's not the redness of the acne spots or the redness of my rosacea or whatever the hell's on my face. It's not the redness of that peeking through. So it looks very skin-like while covering up all your problem areas. And this is a pretty spot-on match. Like, I feel like I don't need to blend it down my neck, and I hate when I have to do that with foundation because I'm lazy and hate having to cleanse my neck. So this is really nice. I'm really impressed with this. And then another thing I will say for dry skin, I always apply my foundation with a sponge. Brushes never give me a good finish. So I'm not doing half my side or half my face with a brush because brush never works for me. I'm gonna tap just a little bit on my nose. Even that I feel like might have been too much. One thing that I'm noticing again with this foundation, applying it, it doesn't really work well if you're like going all over your face, but if you have a spot that's concentrated and you just lightly pat and lightly start to feather out the edges, that's how it's going to apply the best in my experience. Because if I try to drag this up the side of my face, it's not gonna look as nice. And I'm gonna have to go in and cover up certain spots, if that makes sense. All right, so on this side, I didn't put quite as much right on my red spot, and it looks like there is some pink tones peeking through just a little bit. So here, I'm gonna build it up in this area, and then I'm also gonna build this up around my nose. I am interested to see how this sets down because I just like blended around my nose and like touched my nose and it completely picked off the foundation that was there. Because I know they don't recommend to set this with powder. Okay, so my overall thoughts on this foundation is that it is a little finicky to work with. It doesn't want to be over blended. It doesn't want to be overspread. So you kind of need to place and blend that area out, which I don't mind. It's just a different way of applying my foundation that I would have to get used to. And I think you would end up using less products, just kind of dotting it where you need it and blending out. I do think like this is going to set down fairly quickly and it's not going to do well if I wanted to go back over here now and build things up. I don't think it would look nice because when I added a little bit more to my chin, it's starting to look a little dry and flaky around my chin from where I built that up. So if you're not happy with how an area looks as soon as you apply it, immediately build that up to your liking while everything is still workable. So I'm going to apply the concealer and then we'll do a zoom in to see how everything looks. But it did a really good job of covering up my redness, so I'm impressed with that. On camera, it looks more mask-like, but in person, it looks a lot more skin-like. So let's learn about the concealer really fast before I go and apply. So the concealer retails for $19, which isn't bad for a mid-priced item. So this is described as a lightweight hydrating concealer with cake-free medium to full coverage that lasts while brightening skin with a radiant finish. So coverage medium, finish radiate, formula liquid, and then again it says it works for all skin types. That includes normal, dry, combination, and oily. It's described as instantly hiding any blemishes, dark circles, and redness with buildable coverage and a skin-like finish that won't cake or settle into your fine lines. And there's 48 shades in this as well. And then also these products are vegan and cruelty-free, so that makes it more universal for everyone to use. One thing that I will say is that it said like you can't see pores with this foundation and it doesn't look cakey, but I can see my pores and it looks a little cakey around my nose. So I know a lot of people love the doe foot on this because it's so unique and different, and this is getting wiped off because Lord knows we do not need that much concealer. Okay, so I am just going to take a little bit here and then right here, and let's see what we're working with. And then again, I'm doing the same technique where I'm tapping and blending this until I'm happy with it, and then I can go and kind of drag it around the rest of my under eye. And the same for this outer bit, because I want the most brightness to be here and here. So this concealer blended out like nothing. It was just really easy to work with. I hardly had to pat it in. I feel like it's not the most brightening concealer in the entire world. Like I feel like I could probably build it up a little bit right here in the inner corner. But compared to my other eye, I would say it did a good job of covering up a lot of the darkness that I have right here. But again, I feel like maybe just a little bit lighter of a shade would give me more of the brightening effect that I am looking for, but not bad. I actually want to try this stuff again where I just mostly use concealer and hardly any foundation and see what kind of look I get with that. So I might include that at the end of the video, or it might be a separate one. We'll see. I just have a feeling with this concealer, if you were to do your concealer first and put your foundation around it, you would need hardly any foundation. And that's probably what I would recommend doing if you want a more natural finish. See, I feel like it started to pick up a little bit over here. So you guys can kind of see how it looks like there's a line like right here of concealer. And it just kind of chunked up and it's not wanting to blend out. And the more I try to mess with it, it's like lifting up around it. So I would say use as little concealer as you can. So let's go ahead and zoom in. So here on my chin a little bit, you can kind of see where it's looking a little dry. Like it just looks really textured. And again, it looks pretty textured around my nose, which is pretty typical for foundations. The one that I've been using recently is the Physicians Formula Healthy Foundation. And this one, if I'm careful, I can get away with not having the lines around my nostrils. And when I'm zoomed in, it's picking up all the cool towns. So you can see more of the redness peeking through as we're zoomed in. But my forehead honestly looks really nice, and that tends to be a problem area for me as far as dryness goes. Same with my nose. My nose was a little bit more problematic, and then here you can see even more like that line of concealer that's lining the socket of my eye. But this side blended out great, so I don't know what happened to this side of my face. Okay, so it doesn't feel like it sets down to like a powder-like finish, and that makes me want to set my face. But quickly, with clean fingers on this side, foundation did come off when I barely touched my face. So that makes me want to set it. And we'll just see. Maybe it'll be a disaster. Maybe it won't be. That's the whole point of these first impression videos anyway. So I'm going to take a little bit of our CMA No Color Translucent Powder. And I'm going to take, and when I set, I don't bake. I do the lightest dusting because I don't want to look cakey. So I'm going to apply that to my under eye. And before I get carried away, we need to apply the blush and highlight. I wish she did have some kind of like liquid bronzer or something. So hopefully that comes out soon. I just went ahead and lightly set my under eyes before they got too out of control. Now, I saw that this blush is very, very pigmented, so we are going to just do little bits at a time. Blush retails for $20, which I find a little bit pricey. Like, I feel like it should be the same price as the concealer or maybe less, but it is described as a weightless, long-lasting blush that blends in beautifully for a soft, healthy flush, available in matte and dewy finishes. All right, so let's see how this goes. Again, this is in the shade Bliss. This is the lightest matte blush color. So I just scraped most of the product off. This is what the applicator looks like. These applicators look pretty cool. So I'm going to just put some here and let's see. I've never worked with liquid blush before, so this is a journey for all of us because I tend to have my blush like my blush over here. I would say like this is blending out nicely with my finger. The only thing I would say is that it's more vibrant in person than it is on camera. On camera it looks really subtle. I think that looks really pretty. The placement may be a little off, but this is something that I would definitely need to get used to doing and practice doing. It's definitely more time consuming than just putting some powder on your face, but I think that it's a really nice effect. Again, I would like to use this product with not so much foundation. I think it would look even nicer. So now let's try the liquid highlight. I did lightly set under my eyes, so hopefully that doesn't interfere with the application. It doesn't look like the blush really picked up a lot. It doesn't look like the blush really picked up the foundation. It's just looking a little cakey and crusty where the foundation and concealer meet, which is odd. I would like to see an expansion of the blush shades, which I'm sure there will be. Because even the dewy peach I felt would be a little bit dark, so I would like to see a lighter pink in the dewy formula. And then for the liquid highlight, this is $22. Again, I think that that's a little bit high of a price point, but this is described as a silky second skin liquid highlighter that creates lasting, soft, and luminous finish. It says that you can mix this in with the foundation or just layer it across the high points of your face for increased radiance. So this is what the highlight looks like blended out on my hand. It looks really, really pretty. And again, it seems like this is a product where a little bit will go a long way. So let's again scrape off most of the product from the doe foot applicator. It's the same as a blush. And I like to find my light, so I tend to highlight up through here. That is a super subtle highlight, so I'm actually gonna try to build it up just a little bit. So it doesn't look like it's picking up the foundation, but the more I'm messing with it right here, it looks like it is starting to pick up a little bit. So I would say just get that highlighter on as quick as you can if you don't want it to lift up the foundation. But after building it up 3 times with a little bit of product, I think that that shine looks super pretty. So I'm going to go ahead and do the rest of my face, set it with powder, and come back and see how we feel about it. Okay, so this is what we are looking like with the skin all highlighted before powder. It looks really, really pretty, but I will say, I don't know how much of it's gonna pick up on camera since it's highlighted. There we go. You can see the texture of my skin, how it looks like there's a bunch of foundation right here, and then there's no real foundation where the highlighter is, so it didn't really mix well with the foundation after it had been sitting on my skin. So that's not the best looking thing ever. And I just lightly patted it out with my finger, and then I even went in barely touching with my sponge. So it did kind of break up the foundation on my forehead, which is a little bit more finicky, which is sad because it was looking so good before. Although at a distance, it doesn't look that bad. So I'll be back after I powder this. Okay, let's assess. So I feel like the powder was fine on my face. I feel feel like I have a chunk of powder there, which is weird. I feel like again, let me emphasize, when I say powder, I mean the lightest dusting of powder. I feel like it was fine like on the sides of my face, but my chin is looking dry, my nose is looking super dry, and my forehead looks like it has all the texture in the world on it. It went from looking so good to looking like you can see every dry spot that exists. So to be fair, it did not recommend setting it with powder, but I just had to see what it looked like. Because typically I like that light dusting of powder, especially if I am touching my face or if I'm doing my hair and touch my face and I see that the foundation is instantly rubbing off, which is what this did after it was set for 10 minutes. That makes me think, okay, I want to do a light dusting of powder just so I don't mess up the barrier of my base throughout the day. So this is what we are looking like right now. I feel like you can really see where the concealer is. It looks like it's sitting really heavy under my eyes, where the foundation has more of a lighter skin-like finish. So again, I'm interested in just doing the concealer and then touching up with foundation other places to see how that looks. But to move on in the first impression, the only other thing that I'm going to do here is add some powder bronzer. And we'll see how this goes. My biggest fear is that everything is just going to rub off. It's also looking like it's not really wanting to apply on top of this, which is so weird. I feel like my forehead just looks like a giant hot mess. Now, there we go. It seems a little backwards to be putting bronzer over blush, but this is just what we're doing today. I do have a cream contour, but I didn't want to use it. So I was nervous I would just pick the foundation up. All right, here comes another test. Putting some bronzer on my nose. Okay, that didn't like lift everything up like I was afraid it would, but my nose still looks kind of funky. So yeah, this does not mix well with any kind of powders at all, I would say. So that kind of sucks. All right, so I'm going to finish up the rest of my eye makeup and do check-ins throughout the day. It is now 2:27, so we are just gonna call 2:30 as a check-in. Let's hope that after some time and it warms up to my face that it melts in a little bit better and we don't look quite so dry. All right, you guys, it has been about an hour later. I was just messing around with this eye look. That was inspired by Atlee, if you guys are curious. I love how it turned out. But as far as skin goes, my nose still looks questionable, and the same with my forehead, especially where I applied the bronzer. So I'm wondering if next time it'd be better to apply in stippling motions instead of swiping, but I feel like it would still look dry and patchy. So I definitely feel like you need to figure out how to work with this foundation. But like over on this side of my face, it's starting to melt into my skin and warm up to my skin. So it's looking a little bit better. It is still looking a tad bit dry also right where the concealer is meeting the foundation. However, from a distance, I don't think it looks terrible. It's not the worst foundation I've worn. So I have a feeling it's not going to change a whole lot over the next couple of hours. I think I just need to play around with it some more, but I will check in with you guys at the end of the night to let you know how it holds up. Here is the foundation and concealer and blush and highlight in natural lighting. I feel like it still looks kind of textured, and it looks really heavy right here where the foundation and concealer met. And you can see it started to go a little bit patchy where I applied the little bit of the highlight. Still looking textured in the natural lighting. I feel like my phone is like kind of smoothing it out and making it look better than it does, but this is still what it looks like an hour after application. All right, you guys, 6:40. It's been about 4 hours. I wish I liked this. We are going to dive in to why I'm not liking this, but I just want to say it's been on for 4 hours and I just have the most intense urge to go wash my face because it just feels so heavy and like goopy and like almost itchy on my skin. And even though I set it with powder, it feels so sticky and tacky. I'm so confused. What's going on with this formula? I'm gonna try to keep it on like another 3 or 4 hours just so we can get about an 8-hour wear out of it. I will say I am very extremely interested in never wearing these products like I did today again. I definitely need to try them out more. So there's either gonna be a follow-up to this video or there's gonna be a part 2, probably a part 2 longer review so I can figure out how I can make these work for me, because the way I applied things today is not, it doesn't work for me. So definitely less foundation. I want to use mostly just concealer. I want to find out what I love about these products. I just want to call out really fast because in the description it says that it smooths fine lines and wrinkles. And let me tell you, I am seeing fine lines and wrinkles I never knew I had until I wore this foundation. Let's zoom in. I have to say my eye look is holding up pretty good except for the part where it's transferring, but maybe those are parts I could fill in. But that is not what we're here to talk about. My chin looks so dry. It kind of looks like the texture of like cornmeal or something. So that's not great. And then around my nose, it just looks like it's gunking up. I look so dewy and shiny here, which is weird because I don't really look that dewy or shiny anywhere else that doesn't have highlight. So I think it's interesting that it's so dewy in this area. It feels very dry though. My nose, the foundation did not want to stick on my nose. You can see it's still not the best looking thing in the world. My forehead looks better on camera than it does in person. For some reason, this patch right here, I can still see it, but like, this is just things that we notice, right? Because no one's this close to our damn face, but can you see all these wrinkles? Like, where did they come from? I can't ever recall wearing foundation and looking in the bathroom mirror and going, holy shit, I have a bunch of wrinkles. And then I remembered the foundation said that the foundation concealer both said that they were smoothing and filling in your pores and texture and fine lines. And I can literally, I feel like I can see all my pores around my mouth area. So to me, this is like not holding up to the promises that it made. It's definitely broken up, like here where the blush is, here where the highlight and blush are meeting, it broke up on this side. However, on this side of my face, the blush does look really, really nice. The highlighter looks really, really nice. But yeah, this whole texture thing, I exfoliated my face 2 days ago. So I'm just so disappointed. I really love the Healthy Foundation by Physicians formula. And then it's like I get sick of using the same product after a while. So I'm just like, okay, like this is going to be my new go-to. I mean, it might be, like I said, I need to wear this stuff again and play around with it. But right now my face just feels like one giant goopy mess and I just want to like take all my makeup off. So I highly doubt I'm gonna have anything different to report in the next couple of hours, but well, I guess I do look a little luminous up here where the highlighter didn't go, but especially where the highlighter was on my forehead. I don't mind the look of it on my nose and on my cheekbones though. Just this right here. I just don't understand how you're not supposed to set this. So yeah, let me know if you guys have tried these products, how you get along with them. But I'll be back for the final check-in. I'm actually gonna fill in the little bits of eyeshadow and see how I like that look since it's transferring. You guys, I can't freaking do it anymore. It is 9:07. I've had this on for like 6.5 hours and I have to go shower and wash this off my face. I just noticed I was sitting on the couch, like I was starting to get itchy over here. And then even though I was like lightly tapping my finger, like even now, there's so much foundation coming off just from me doing a couple taps. And I set it with powder. So again, like, I don't understand how people don't set this and have it stay in place all day. This is not looking good at all. I look like such a grease slick in my opinion. So let's zoom in and take a look together. My chin looks horrific. And even down here and down here, it just looks like it's rubbed off, like it's so patchy looking. It looks like the blush is completely gone because that is the color of bronzer, not blush. It looks like it held on a little bit more on this side of my face for some reason. That doesn't make any sense at all. And my forehead still looks so dry. It is so shiny, but yet it looks so dry and scaly. Like if the light wasn't reflecting off of it, you'd be able to see more. But you can see every single line in my forehead. Like, and you can see every single line. Like you can see every crevice of my face on my complexion. And like, I don't understand how it says that this is line filling and pore smoothing. Like, no. I have to zoom out. I can't look at myself that zoomed in the monitor. I'm so disappointed in the results of this foundation and concealer. So like I said, I'm gonna have to try it again with some different techniques, but first impression, this was just not good, and I'm determined to like these products. So I'm gonna play around with them a little bit more. I'm going to film a follow-up video, so stay tuned for that and see if I can find a way to make it work, and I'll give you guys my final verdict because I don't feel like it's fair based off of first impressions, unless it's something that's absolutely truly horrific and horrifying, to just be like, no, this product's horrible, I don't recommend it. I can't say if I recommend it or not. I say, I don't know. It works for some people. It hasn't worked for me yet. So we will see down the line. Maybe in like 2 or 3 weeks, I'll post my update video. So I hope you guys enjoy this. I like always feel so awkward filming the ending of these because like it wasn't a success. So it's just like, okay, well, bye. Like, I don't know what else to say. The color match was really nice. But yeah, definitely gonna try again and focus mostly with the concealer. We'll see. I just can't believe that this did not perform as well as this. This is like a $12 foundation, so. All right, well, I hope you guys liked it. Thanks for taking the time out of your day to watch this. I have a what I eat in a day video that will be coming out next week. So be sure to subscribe if you don't want to miss out on my future content. And I will see you guys in the next one. Bye, everyone.